There's still something not quite right. It's just so fuzzy. That's in 1080p. Our output should be 60 frames. It is. Current output resolution 2580 by 1080. Alright. Our first match. Team DRIDS versus Malady, Ragnar, and LSR on Team BARCode. On the east side, Team DRIDS, we have Tengu, Yulirev, and Eli Drid facing off against LSR, Ragnar, and Malady. Let's go and have a look and see how our players are going to start out the first match in the 3v3 qualifiers. Tengu here, starting in Armada bots. Yulirev, Cortex vehicles. And lastly, Elidrid with the Armada bots. Yeah, their camera control is OP, but the stream output hates it. It absolutely despises it. You see how choppy the screen gets? Here we have Malady in Armada bots. Ragnar is starting Armada vehicles. And LSR starting in the Cortex bots. Early ticks out of Tengu. Rovers from Yulirev and ticks from Elidrid moving forward across the field. Looks like a tick from Tengu makes it in to LSR's backline. Doesn't quite manage to kill the mechs, but severely damages it. 2 more ticks going out. Ragnar sending out rover scouts of his own. Looking for Yulirev. Eladrid, 5 ticks moving forward. Malady's ticks are elsewhere looking at Tengu's. Looks like Ragnar may lose a mechs here. 1 mech's down for Ragnar. And even a second on the front as scouts from Yulirev assault from the front, and the ticks go in for behind. Ticks from Elidrid moving forward, taking down a mechs from Malady. Ragnar in the background. One of his scouts takes down 1 mechs from Elidrid. A second mechs from Malady going down here to the ticks from Elidrid. Another tick going after Ragnar. 2 constructors there building a mechs. Managed to keep it repaired. The tick goes back in for another run. Scouts from Yulirev still raiding very well here, keeping Malady and Ragnar's attention, and LSR's as well. LSR the first from Team BARCode to move his commander forward. All 3 from DRIDS moving up now. Pawns from Elidrid moving up, chasing off Malady's ticks. Malady moving some LLTs up. Elidrid moving into Team BARCode's half of the map. Ragnar moving some blitz tanks up to assault the pawns here. The pawn's going to take advantage of the terrain and move down into the crater. Malady moving into the crater. Elidrid pulling his pawns back. Blitz tanks from Ragnar holding the line on the front. LSR sieging his line against his opponent while simultaneously looking for a gap with his grunts on the north side. Ragnar finds a gap here with his blitz tanks. Moves through with some rovers, scouting for opportune targets here. Elidrid, on his side, has built LLTs around his mechs, guaranteeing their safety against any light unit raids. Medium tanks and medium tanks and lashes coming out from Yulirev here. Tengu responds to the rocket bots with more rocket bots of his own, while LSR still scouting forward with his grunts. Malady slides around the defenses of Elidrid with his units here. Some ticks moving forward, going and claiming a mechs, and they're looking for a second. They pick a constructor and a metal extractor here. And another metal extractor goes down. Blitz tanks finding some exposed lashes here. Definitely getting the better upper hand of the fighting against Yulirev as Yulirev brings out medium tanks now. Malady's threatening Elidrid's base. Elidrid pulls his units back, microing 2 groups of units here. Pawns to go and destroy the ticks, and pawns to hold off the pawns from Malady. Ragnar making a break for the backline economy of Tengu here. Very little defenses there in Tengu's base. Meanwhile, Malady moves forward with his commander, Elidrid withdrawing his commander to attempt to regroup on the map here. Malady aggressively moving his commander into the light laser towers, going to degun the towers, destroying a metal extractor, and may even get this solar on the front line here as well. LSR fighting on two fronts here. Rocketeers holding the front line while he's now tech swapped into Cortex vehicles and now brings up some brutes to Eulerev's front line. One brute skates through, keeping his units occupied. Malady now skirmishing on the front line with Elidrid. But while Eulerev is busy with LSR, Ragnar is going for another breakthrough. Rocketeers and thugs coming out now from Tengu, looking to fight back against LSR's front line. Eulerev stabilizing the situation in the middle against LSR, meanwhile Ragnar is still raiding forward with his blitz tanks. Malady still pressuring his front line now. He's got a superior number of units, and he has a superior economy to his opponent Elidrid. Ticks moving forward, looking for raiding opportunities, while his pawns win an exchange on the front line. LSR single-handedly fighting off Eulerev and Tengu, but his front line begins to fall as the Rocketeers and Thugs move up to siege the light laser tower wall that he's built there. Blitz tanks from Ragnar going back again. He has a rover in there that's picking on Tengu's energy production at home, while Tengu is laser focused on microing his units on the front line. Meanwhile, it looks like we've got a decent ball of medium tanks from LSR looking to break through Eulerev's line. But while Eulerev is bringing his units down to assist, Ragnar is moving medium tanks through the top side, clearing out his mexes and light laser towers with ease. Tengu's commander deguns one unit, but its hit points are very low. And the medium tanks win the exchange. One commander goes down for Team DRIDS. One of the win conditions in the 3v3 tournament is to kill all of your enemy's commanders. You either beat them on the field, or you beat them in the mind. Teams can resign. Ragnar now moving forward with his commander against Elidrid. Ragnar moving forward to kill some defenses from Elidrid. He wouldn't be shy about trading his commander here, but he does withdraw. Malady, however, is more than keen to take the exchange, and they move forward to trim down Elidrid's commander even further. Malady's commander gets low and he pulls back out. Elidrid begins to repair his commander and moves back. Eulerev, while Ragnar's attention was occupied elsewhere, is now moving through the center of the map. Tengu, his economy has been all but destroyed by the Blitz tank raid from Ragnar, so he's unable to move forward. He begins to send his units over to LSR now as Eulerev refocuses on Ragnar's line. Malady tech swaps out to vehicles on the front line, artillery tanks and medium tanks coming up to the front now. Tengu furiously rebuilding at home, while gradually creeping his units forward. Ragnar continuing to ball up his units using a Janus tank here to halt the momentum of the medium tanks. Some artillery here from Ragnar too. Eulerev brings his commander up and pressures the line as Ragnar's commander is not there. Meanwhile, Malady continuing to produce bots and medium tanks pressures Elidrid. The artillery tanks keeping his commander moving. Elidrid pulls his units back but now brings them up to help defend his commander. Medium tanks from LSR join the fight against Eulerev in the center. Malady sends in medium tanks to Eulerev's base while his pawns move forward. Elidrid's commander is exposed, taking some artillery hits there, and the ticks move in, and Elidrid's commander goes down. The final commander is Eulerev. He's beset on all sides. LSR's medium tanks from Ragnar, and behind him besieging his base are medium tanks from Malady. Are they going to be able to respond in time? Thugs from Tengu come up to join the fight, but there's a lot of tanks there. Four brute tanks from Yularev here pull back to escort his commander, but his base is being eviscerated. His commander is exposed. He has no energy. He uses the last of his reserves to send out some of the D-guns from the commanders, able to kill any unit except another commander in a single hit. Malady, LSR, and Ragnar all taking turns, taking shots at the exposed commander, and the final commander goes nuclear. Round 1 goes to BARCode. Double the metal income, double the energy. The macro difference is what pulls the win here. Ugh, right. Just gonna try and match the window resolution here, 2580. Yeah, that's not definitely